What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Mass Madness here. Today I'm gonna get a video out because of the summertime is coming in through here, and kind of late spring is going away, so it's starting to get hot. It's starting to get dog days are coming here soon in July. Time of making this video, and I want to get a video out for some baits that I like to throw. I'm gonna do the top 5 I like to throw around this time, and this is my opinion on these baits and what works and stuff. But I live down here in southeastern of PA, so sometimes it can get a little hard, especially the lakes and ponds. Sometimes those bass are really hardy. They're pretty smart, and they just don't want to hit anything. Sometimes it has to be really conditional to hit certain baits. So I want to kind of give you guys some list of some baits that you might not throw too much, some you might throw a lot of, and just some tips and tricks that might work during the day. So let's get into it, and I'll show you the first one here. All right, everybody, start off, number 1 is going to be a frog. When it comes to summertime, I mean, a lot of people like throwing the frog, and there is no way or but about it that the frog dominates through the summer and late spring. It's starting to get to those 75, 70, maybe almost 80 degree wet waters right now. One of the lakes I fish, Grounds, is around 78, almost 80 right now, so it's hot. They're pretty stagnant through the day. If you use a jig or some really slow moving baits, maybe even a crankbait rolling a deep dive, and you can get them. But like, if you're going for top water, you have to wait through that morning. I like the evening better, that evening bite. And the frog, this is a Savage Gear Ninja frog. This is one of my favorite frogs to throw of all time. They're discontinued. You can't get them anymore. They're on eBay. You can get them now, but they dominate. I think they're the best thing about them is the rubber. It's firm, but it's not too firm, and you can really push it down really easily. But obviously, I bent out the hooks there on some of my 2 favorites here. They're really wore down. This one is one of the ones that I just got recently to replace my old frog, because the old frog was absolutely demolished. I caught a lot of nice sized fish, a lot of bigger fish on it, and it tears them up after a good many of them. So I got a replacement, so this one's new, but this one I've had for a little bit, and you can see how much I've had to glue some of that back. But the rubber on these, what makes a good frog is a frog that has good sturdy rubber, but enough to where if a bass kind of bites it not down as hard as other bass, it can still get past the hook point there, and that's what you want, so you get a good hook set. Now I'm going to show you some rod recommendations on a lot of these baits that I'm showing you today. This one here, I got another Savage Gear frog tied onto this. This is a littler one. I think this is a 2.5 Ninja frog, popping frog. This is my frog and rod and punch and jig rod. It's 7'4". It's the Savage Gear Squad rod. This rod has been great. You want a rod that can just get abused, all right? Because you're fishing in mucky stuff, you're punching through stuff, you're ripping these frogs out of cover. I mean, you want a strong rod that you're just wanting to abuse, and this thing's been great for as many years as I've had it. I think it's about 4. I think I've got this now. The Squad Savage Gear rod is fantastic. It is great. And it looks good too. Like I said, 7'4". You want a heavy power and fast action. You want the fast action and get those hooks penetrated up through there, and then you want the heavy action so you can really drag those fish out of cover with no. You don't want like a moderate bend or anything like that. You want that fast bend. You want not a lot of bend. So this is also the Curado Shimano reel. It's great. You want any reel that's around the 200 size to get the kind of the big pound braid. I have 50. Yeah, this is 50 pound. My other one has 40. This is 50. 40 can be good. 50 can be good. Some people even go to 60 if you're down south more and those weeds are a little bit more like really thick. Then you're gonna want 60 pound. But I like run 40, 50 just fine. Sometimes it casts a little better for me. But this is a 2-on XG here, and this is one of my favorite frogging reels I've ever had. It's an 8.5, so it's on the faster side. You want an 8.5 gear ratio to get those frogs up on the boat. When you hook set on a frog, the best thing is to hook upwards usually. When you see them bite down, you just hook upwards and rank them out of that cover or whatever. Maybe they're even open water too, maybe like on a popper frog that I use. Mostly I use poppered frogs out in open water, and then I use the walking frogs around cover. Seems to do a little bit better for results, but you can use poppered frogs around heavy cover too. I mean, I've done it. It's just preference wise it comes down to. But I rip them out and get them good hook set, and then I just crank them in. You don't want a lot of leverage and fighting power when you got a big fish on a frog, because the frog is one of those baits that they can throw easily if they get the chance. So you just want to get that fish in once they hit. So yeah, I would say even the SPRO ones too. This is a SPRO popped frog. I have it all in black. The Ninja Frog from Savage Gear got to be one of my favorite. Like I said, you can't get them anymore, they're discontinued, but you can probably get them on eBay and stuff. They're some of my favorites. They walk really good, they pop really good, and I had great hookup set ratios with them. And I think that's the big problem with frogs. You got to get a good one so you have a better hookup ratio, and so you bend those hooks out a little bit so they're just pointing out to where you can just grab onto them with your finger just on top. That's what makes a good frog good. So that's that one. All right, next up is another topwater bait. So we got 2 topwaters on here, and that is the BuzzBait. Early morning, super late evening, almost dark. Even in the night fishing when it's a full moon, if you're going night fishing, the BuzzBait kills, guys. There's no joke about it. Burning this thing in, sometimes you might think it's a little too fast. Those bass will target that thing from cover and chase it until they can grab it. I've seen it happen, and it does great. Like I said, during the day, it seems to slow down a little bit more here in the hotter months. I know in the spring you can chuck it around during the day and still catch them. Not that you can't catch them during the day, but it seems to just do better late dawn and early morning. These ones, I have the two Strike King ones here. These ones do pretty good. I usually run a white with a little trailer. It's like a little bluegill trailer from Rage Tail. And then this one is a Yum Crawl one, and this is like a red and watermelon pattern. This one I like throwing at night. I don't know. I seem like the red I like doing it at night. Same with like black, like darker colors so they could see it. Excuse me, better. That seems to be my go-to. But recently, I've been throwing the MONSTERBASS BuzzBait, and I've been throwing it in pink. I really like this kind of vibrant pink and yellow lures for stuff like this. There's the MONSTERBASS one. I even tipped the with a chartreuse marker with a little chartreuse on the back there, and this one really kills, man. The MONSTERBASS new buzzbait that just hit Tackle Warehouse not long ago. It really always spins really well, and even when I'm slower moving a buzzbait, when it's just like bloop 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 bloop, and I'm not buzzing it in, it always works 100% of the time. So I would recommend one of these ones if you're looking in a buzzbait. They're not that much, and they kill, man. You just burn them in, they're fun, and all of a sudden you get smacked really hard up top and you hook set. It's a rush, and it's great for another topwater bait. So I run my buzzbaits on a 7'6" Flippin stick. This is a Dobyns Sierra Series one here, and then I have a Tatula 7.3. Some people run a little like faster, like an 8.5, but I tend to reel a lot faster than I should. So I kind of like to slow it down a little bit. So I'm cranking usually, but I'm not speeding too fast on it. But this is the Tatula TWS. It does great. I have 17, I think this is 17 Abrasion X Fluro on it. Now, fluorocarbon likes to sink. So for buzzbaits, this is a Flippin stick. So I kind of use it for both here for my jigs and stuff as well. So you could run just braid. That's what I would usually do. Now, when I'm running like this one, if I want just straight braid, this does great too, this Flippin stick rod, the frog one, so it doesn't sink as fast. But if I'm really burning it, it doesn't really matter. I just run fluorocarbon. But Yeah, this is a 40-pound. This is that 40-pound braid. It does just fine on buzz baits as well, other than just frogs, and it doesn't sink as fast. So this is a SPRO line too. SPRO Flippin line, braid line. It's great. And then this is Abrasion X Seguar. So, but 7'6" kind of gets that longer casting difference if you really throw it out there. And then you want that kind of just mid-range, maybe even a little faster if you reel slower. Reel. So that's what I run. It does great. Hook sets are great. They fish stick on them really well. And so yeah, that's the buzz bait, and that's the second one bait recommendation for today. All right, guys, third bait of the day. One I have a lot of here in my Megabass box. Listen, so a lot of people know the MAGDRAFT kills. The MAGDRAFT is great. 6-inch, 7-inch, they do great, but it's a little bit bulkier. Around where I fish at, with being in southern PA, it's not like I'm herking up at 8-pounders and 9-pounders every day. More in the big ranges, like 5 to 6 pound. So I know that's like babyish for down south in Florida and stuff, but that's what we got up here that is pretty big. So this could do good. There's nothing against this, but I'm really talking about the 5-inch MAGDRAFT that came out recently. The 5-inch kills, and I have two different versions. I have the harness version right here with the treble hook harness, just like the original MAGDRAFT, and that kind of has that magnet that comes out there. And then I have also the Freestyle, which you can freely hook on a regular swim bait hook, and then you could put a Nico style weight right in there to weight it, so it just kind of floats down. It sinks at a good rate. There's two different versions of that, but really this thing kills. This thing, for like, if you're going for like a little swim bait size, but you're not going like big glide bait size, I suggest the MAGDRAFT 5-inch. Now, a lot of people complained about how the 6-inch and the 7-inch MAGDRAFT you can really burn in, but that's not what you do with the 5-inch, man. You have to go slower. It's more of a slow rolling one, and you can burn them in. It seems like the Freestyles here that you rig yourself, they burn in a lot quicker. You can burn those in quicker than the actual harness one. I think it's just because of the weight distribution that you can put with them. So because of the difference of them, like I have the weight in here, the harness one that comes with it is right here in the head, and that's it. And then with how I rig them, the Freestyle, if I just want the single hook, I'll have a swim bait screw-in hook with a weight down here, and then I'll have that Nico kind of style hook I'll push up in there, and it kind of slinks a little bit slower, but you can burn it in faster. All right, sorry guys, phone got too hot there when I was recording there. Anyways, like I was saying, the MAGDRAFT 5-inch, I like to slow roll it around cover, like a lot of wood cover does really well. Rock cover too, but wood really shines. And I've even thrown this thing in 12 inches of like water with just kind of like the weedy areas and stuff. And bass are chasing more of the bluegill up shallow, or maybe shad. They do really well. Now around here, there's not a whole lot of shad in my waterways for lakes and ponds, but bluegill there's a lot of, so I like throwing the bluegill color 5 inches, and that's what I have in the Freestyle as well, a lot of too. Now I got tons of colors. If you're going for more natural, match the hatch. Get whatever's in your waterway. So bluegill is one of them from around here, but also yellow perch, and in other bigger lakes, the blackback shad does really well. And even the one that's just, I forget what this one is, this color. It's just straight up white and glitterish in there. I forget which MAGDRAFT color that's called. But the yellow perch does really good as well. And if you want more of a natural design too, that kind of has a little bit of white in it, the bass ones do really good. Now this is the US version, and this is the JDM Japan version Freestyle, so they're a little bit different, but they're pretty much the same thing. This one's just a little bit more vibrant. But yeah, slow load that through cover and slow roll it through really shallow where you think bass are like chasing, and you'll get hit. Now I usually throw the harness version. You're gonna want something in a rod the harness ones that have a little bit more bend, a moderate fast. This is the Arc Tharp series one. This is the grinder. Now this grinder rod is for like your lipless crankbaits, square bills. So you can use it more towards anything that has kind of the treble hook, because these are just as big as kind of like crankbait treble hooks. You're gonna want something with a bend. I've never lost a fish yet that I've hooked up on this thing through harness ones, because it's got that moderate bend. It's a medium heavy, so you don't want like super heavy. You want medium heavy, and then it's a moderate fast. So you want that parabolic bend so that there's more shake room for when those fish shake their head a lot, especially those bigger ones. And I usually run 15-pound fluorocarbon. This is Tatsu, a little bit more of the expensive stuff, but the Abrasion X Seguar 15-pound does really well too. That's up to preference as well. And then I run a 151 HG Shimano DC. I like using DC so I can flip to a lot of different colors and stuff, and I don't have to worry about breaking in the dial, and because the DC makes obviously the cool DC noise, the water Hellcat noise. So that's what I usually run for that, so I don't gotta deal with it a lot. So that I suggest a parabolic bend, more of rod, and a 15-pound fluorocarbon reel. So that's what I suggest for the harness version. Now you can have kind of an all-around rod, a medium, heavy, fast action rod. This is my worm rod, but I also throw on my worm rod the harness version, the single hook versions, and they seem to penetrate really well. This one is an Albert Garcia Pro Series. It has a little bit more of more give, it seems like, than just like a straight fast, and I think that's because of it being more of a worm kind of versatile all-purpose rod, which is good. So I would suggest something like that. Also 15-pound Tatsu Seguar line. So just keep it around there, slow load it through wood cover. Really, you can really slow it, or you can crank it up just a little faster and it will still do its wobble action. But that stuff, I mean, this is one of the biggest swim bait I think that kills. It's got the little profile, you can get a lot of numbers on it, but big fish love it too. Big fish will hit it and thump it. All right, fourth bait of the day. This one's kind of a wide variety, because I can't really pin it down to, 5 baits for the summer. Summertime's just kind of, you can throw a lot of what you like to throw, which I like, and catch fish on. But big soft plastics. I'm talking big 12-inch worms, big flippin bugs, bigger bellows gills. You flip them around in some cover and you do great. You slow roll 12-inch mag worms around cover. Oh, wood cover, you get some big bites. Big bites and big fish. This is the Zoom one, 12-inch Mago Monster. It's the Mago Monster. That one's great. And then you can even go Old Monster, which is a little bit littler as well. This is the black Old Monster one. And just slow roll them on the bottom. Another way I like just straight retrieving and just stopping is I'll reel up and put my rod up, and then I'll let it flutter back down, reel it up, let it flutter back down. And usually that flutter back down gives a reaction strike. You're going to want more reaction strikes when it comes to the summer if they're more lethargic. Another one is the X-Zone lures. They're a little bit better sometimes than the Zoom ones. Zoom ones sink a little bit faster. These ones are a little bit more floating. If you want that flutter to be a little bit slower, it's better to run X-Zone. But the rods that I mostly use them on is the worm rod, the Pro Series. I'll run a 6/0 or maybe a 5/0 worm hook through some of the smaller 10-inch worms. Mago Monsters, the X-Zone ones. There's some Yum ones that are around 10-inch, but they're the old Monster ones. Run the 6 to 5/0 through there, and then if I want that flutter to be a little bit slower, I'll run a 1/8. But then if I want it to be faster and sink faster, get down there to the bottom, I'll throw a 1/4 sinker on it. And I usually use tungsten with a bobber stop right there, just at the top, and then rig it up through there, Texas rig, and put your hook right into that soft plastic there, so you can't catch it on a lot of stuff. And man, you'll get a lot of hits. Now you'll get bluegill that will hit the back of this here and try to chip it off, which is annoying. But those big thumps, Usually once you feel a big thump, I'll wait until I see the line out, go for a good 3 seconds, and then I'll reel up and hook set. And that's why I have this medium heavy fast kind of all-purpose worm rod. This is the Josperto worm rod. It is 7'4", medium heavy fast. So, and it can go up to 1 ounce, so I can throw bigger ounce worms and stuff like that on it as well. And it usually hook sets really well. It's just you're gonna have a lot of instances where the fish will just grab the back since it's such a big worm, and then you'll try and hook set and they won't have it. Usually that happens to smaller fish. The bigger fish will take the whole thing usually. But for my bigger worms, maybe my thicker soft plastics, like bigger, thicker 5-inch bellows gills from G-Crack, or bigger zoom ones. See, that's a lot thicker than the old monster here. I will like to throw more on my flippin' stick rod with fluorocarbon. So like this one, this is my other flippin' stick I just went over with the buzzbait. I'll throw it on there sometimes if I'm not throwing it too far. I'm just throwing it around cover. I'll throw it on this rod, and it does really well hook set wise. I'll just do the same thing if I see the line going. I'll wait a good 3-4 seconds and then reel up and hook set when I think the fish really got it. I wait until I really feel that big thump or big bite, like they're really taking it in their mouth. So for rod recommendations, I recommend like that, but go big or go home. Don't afraid to throw bigger baits. I know a lot of glide bait guys and stuff like that just strictly throw big swim baits and stuff. Summertime, you can throw them. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's what you want to do. But you usually do better in the spring with them and late fall. But you can still throw them in the summer and get some big bites. But colors that work the best are black in some of the really murky water. I like pink lemonade for throwing, and kind of that stained water with plum. Plum's really good. And then good old black and blue. So I just throw those around those same colors. I don't really change it up all that much with those. And oh yeah, June bug. June bug's another one I kind of throw. It kind of goes with the plum. It's like a different kind of plum one. So I'll throw that one around too about the same time. All right, down to the final bait. Now, like I said, it's hard to kind of just choose like 5 baits to throw in the summer because it's so versatile. And the 5th one I would say would be skirted baits. Now chatterbaits and stuff like that, chatterbaits and some bigger chatterbaits. This is like a 3/4 ounce, this is a 1/2 ounce. They do all right through the summer. They're big fish getters, I think. Not really number getters. I know a lot of people love throwing chatterbait. I throw them and I don't get a ton of good results, but like one of the fish that I do get to hit are usually pretty big, and I'll get them in, and that's good for that. So I can't really shoot them down that much. For me, I just don't have a whole lot of luck on them, but they are still good. But they do better in the spring, I feel. Now, if we're looking at more summertime baits, you're going to want to throw some more jigs. If you're not very good at throwing jigs, or you really haven't tried them, I would try them. This is a football head jig, and this is a flipping jig. And you see, like, I don't really have like huge jigs here. I think this is a 1/2, and this is like a 1/4. I kind of keep them smaller. They can get some numbers in if you find like more bass are up on some different secondary points in your lake, or maybe on different points on a pond, like by a fountain or something. They do really well, and usually I won't throw a huge jig. I'll kind of just keep them a little bit smaller and simpler, and I usually get more bites in. Usually better bait, bigger fish usually hit them too. Now, favorite colors I like to throw are black and blue, and kind of that neon lime green with black. That seems to do really well. Another ones I like to throw are like more of a bluegill pattern, like in a swim jig. If I'm really just like, maybe they don't want the 5 like Magdraft, like maybe they're just not hitting the Magdraft that day. I'll usually switch up to like a swim jig and maybe slow roll it. This one's got little rattles on the bottom. This is a Strike King. And I'll roll this through, and I usually can get more hits maybe if they're a little bit slower, maybe throughout the day. So if they're not hitting the Magdraft, you can always switch up to a swim jig, and whatever color. White does good in murky water, bluegill does good in more of the stained clear water. Just match a hatch on what you got for what you have. So, I mean, I guess that's 2 different baits for the 5th one. I would even put spinner baits in it as well, because, but spinner baits are very, where I'm at, up north here, kind of the southern PA, the weather's changing all the time. It's just, you know, they're so conditional, I would say. Like, I wouldn't throw them all the time. The best time, this is a big willow bait, Colorado one with a bellows gill on the back. That does really well around big wooded logs and stuff. And then I have a smaller 1/2 ounce Megabass AYU here, color, and it does really well during some of the murky water, stuff like that. But usually before a storm, before a big storm comes through, when the chop is really coming up on the lake, when the water's really moving, you can't really see, it's really murky in the water, that's when you want to burn a spinner bait in, usually. Just roll them in with a spinner bait. I have a spinner bait rod. It's not here on the boat right now, but I'll usually throw that around, and it does pretty well, because it's a moderate, you want that kind of that moderate fast action, medium heavy for a spinnerbait rod, and it does really well. And like I said, I just kind of crank them in when it's really murky, and it does really well. But for back to the jig wise and stuff like that, really just slow moving it over some different types of cover. Wooded cover does really well. Rocks do really good with jigs. You know, it gets annoying because you get hung up and stuff, but it does really good for like smallmouth if they're in your lake or so, around rocks. I like to throw them in the summertime in those hotter months. So, I would suggest some of those types of colors too for a jig, is the neon black and the black and blue. That seems to do the best. And then the swim jig in the bluegill color or shad color, depending on what you got in your lake. So, yeah, that's my 5 baits. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's more fishing videos coming out soon. Hope this gave you some more of a wide variety of try some different baits out here. Just to, if you're getting stumped during the summer, everyone does, where you're kind of having that streak where you're not really catching much, and you're like, what should I change up? Try some of those baits. Try going a little bit faster retrieve on days. Try going a little bit slower retrieve, and see what you get. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment what you guys' favorite kind of summertime baits are. I'd like to know. I'm curious, and see how you like to apply them to your waters. And yeah, get back to me, and I'll see you guys in the next video coming out here soon. And have a good one, guys.